with the British Board of Boxing Control, but still not. They didn't let you fight back in November. So what?
Well, it's a shame. Do you know what I mean? You got to remember, I didn't just win the hearing. I won the case with the WBC as well. So the WBC cleared me in January. We're forgetting that. I passed all my UCAD tests. I was cleared to fight. I won the hearing. They chose to appeal. What am I supposed to do? You know, just wait for that to... Just wait. You know, even though I've been cleared by the organisation whose test it was, but also won the hearing. So, what more do you want me to do? If they're sceptical, then that's not my problem.
Do you understand it though? When you know it's high level elite sports and people.
That's not my problem.
Conor, when he says he's come out in the mud, you've had it all your own way, does that kind of fire you up a bit more? Because we've seen how hard you work through this.
Yeah, I mean, of course people are going to use that narrative. You know, I got it out the mud, but the reality is, you don't have to get it out the mud. So because I come from a privileged upbringing, I can't be a boxer. You know, that's the reality of it. People want to get out the mud, and yeah, that's a great story. I mean, we love a underdog story, but the reality is, you can be any background, you can be any culture, you can be live in any country, you can be whatever you want to be, irrelevant of your background or your upbringing.
Does it put any pressure on it come Saturday night, what he said and things like that, or is it just important not to overlook him?
I prepare for everyone diligently hard, so for me it doesn't matter who he is, if he's, it could be King Kong, it could be Mickey Mouse. I mean, I'm going to prepare exactly the same way. It don't make no difference to me. I work extremely hard, and I'm dedicated to the game, so for me, that's that.
I don't want to take your mind off Saturday, but I have to ask you, Chris Eubank Sr. came out today saying that the Eubank Jr. fight doesn't happen. He's not a 160-pounder anymore. He's at 187 at the moment, walking around. Any response to that? And, he's saying about Harlem Eubank.
Of course he's going to do that. Harlem's the one paying him, not Chris, not Junior. So of course he's going to say that. Which is a shame, because I wouldn't want to be taking food out of any of my, out of my son's mouth especially. So, that's that.
Did you hear his assessment of Dobson too? He said,
whose assessment?
Chris Eubank Sr. I guess he said that they dug him up while he was still warm. Like, that's an old term that they used to, in terms of, lowering the.
Who said that? Eubank Sr.?
Senior, yeah, about Peter Dobson.
Well, what's that supposed to mean?
Like he's a corpse, I think. Like, you dug him up from the grave, but he's still alive. He soft opponent is what he's trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's a soft opponent until they're not. So for me, it's like, he's that guy. That Mexican I last fought, he's that guy. Them fights that if you don't prepare hard, you can end up messing up. It's just so much at stake. You can't afford to overlook. You can't afford to make mistakes. You can't afford to put 1 foot wrong, when it's so much at stake. So for me, I prepare for everyone as if they are my world title. I've done that throughout my whole career, but that's why I've developed the way I have. So for me, it's like, if it's a warm-up fight, I plan on making it look like a warm-up fight. I don't want no tune-up fights or no warm-up fights being fights that they shouldn't be. For what? Because of, not being dedicated, because of being lazy, because they're not preparing diligently. Nah, not on my watch.
Do you have any extra motivation to clear your name, since people will still be skeptical?
No, that's not. But that's never the case. What more do you want me to do? I've been cleared. What do you want me to do? I passed all my UCAD tests. What more do you want me to do?
I guess I mean more, do you think it's something that'll go away if you just continue to win fights, pass the tests and the commission?
People will always find excuse for my success. I've just been approved in Nevada to fight. I've been approved in Orlando. I'm approved everywhere around the world. Now you ask yourself, what's the agenda? When I've been cleared by the WBC, when I've won the hearing, when I've been approved to fight in Nevada, one of the strictest commissions around the world. Now you ask me, you're asking the wrong questions.
So why do you think they're singling you out, you feel?
I don't know, you seem to have done your homework, so do your homework on it and you'll find out.
What were some of the things that they require you to do and that you passed? Like, obviously there's probably other samples, and so was those other samples cleared and they just kind of went in and was like, well, it's not good enough, essentially?
Sorry, you lost me.
No, like, you know what, like they always have like the A sample, the B sample. Like, what were some of the things that they, I guess, made
There
you
was
do?
there was a reason why. There's a valid reason why. What a WADA case study done a study on it. If you Google WADA clomiphene, it will tell you everything you need to know, and that was the evidence.
Conor, when your dad knocked out Aaron Barkley, he said like he wanted all the US names, and then he got the Eubank fight next. Does it feel like it might be going some a way like that? Do you think if you win Saturday, he takes the fight?
I didn't even know that was the case. I know my dad knocked Barkley out in one round though. But for me, it's just a blessing to be fighting over here because the Benn name is familiar over here, and it's a blessing to be headlining Vegas. I mean, who would have thought? You know, at 27 years young, no amateur experience, turned pro at 19, worked extremely hard, and you know, to be headlining Vegas and see my name up in them lights is a blessing.
There's another big fight in the UK Saturday, Buatsi Azeez. Why should people tune in to you if it's at the same time?
Well, 22 fights, none of them have been a boring fight. You know, I always give people value for money, always entertain, and that's what I'm here to do. It's the entertainment business. Buatsi Azeez, great fight. I don't know who I got in that. He's a 50-50 fight. I know Azeez probably is the underdog, but they're great fights. You like who you like. You know, if you want to watch a devastating knockout, you know where to tune in.
Now there's an American fighter, Jarron, Ennis. I know that's a fight that American fans would love to see you and him. I mean, is that a fight that Eddie and you guys can actually get to work out? Because no one seems to want to fight him.
I've been calling the name, and I know you've seen me call the name. So for me, it's like, Jarron, no problem. You know, people saying he's the boogeyman or everyone's scared, or no one's scared. Do you know what I mean? No one's scared over here anyway. You know, so for me, he's a great fighter, talented, extremely gifted. You can't knock that. You know, but for someone who's had so much amateur experience and someone who hasn't, I still feel ready for that fight. You know, because the pro game is a different game. You know, if I had 33 fights, you know, fighting Van Heerden, I fought Van Heerden in my 19th fight. You know, so and I've done exactly the same thing. When Virgil Ortiz fought Samuel Vargas, done exactly the same thing, if not quicker. You know, when Sean Porter fought Sebastian Formella, done exactly the same thing but better. You know, so that's my comparison. So, you know, I'm ready for them sort of fights. If them fights are presented to me, I'll take them. We offered Barrios the fight, we offered Ramirez the fight. You know, so Ugas the fight, Thurman the fight. Let's make all these fights. I'm willing to come to the States. I'm not shy of coming over here.
Also Devin Haney as well. I know that's been circling a little bit. Like,
he wasn't even in my radar, Haney. You know, Bill Haney mentioned my name. I said, yeah, no problem, let's get a fight on. And then he started being disrespectful, and you know, but I know he isn't even that guy. You know, he ain't got to always be disrespectful and brash and rude, and you know, I don't know why you want to carry yourself like that. You know, but if he wants to fight, the fight's there. He wasn't on my radar. But we can make that fight anytime.
Do you kind of relate to Tim Tszyu? Like he's kind of trying to accomplish the same things you are, same kind of background with the dad who was a champion, and yeah.
Tim Tszyu's killing it. Tim Tszyu's killing it, and I know he conducts himself very like as if the pressure don't affect him. You've always got that on your shoulder. You've always got that there in your head. Your dad is a living legend. You know, Costa Tszyu's a living legend, and Tim Tszyu's, you know, doing his own thing. I can't even say filling his shoes because he's got his own shoes and he's doing his own thing. You know, he's probably the most spoken about fighter in Australia, probably the number one pound for pound in Australia currently. So, you know, you've got to rate it. You know, even through the adversity he went through, being put down early on in his career, to now getting where he is, you've got to rate it.
We need to think of a new advert for freebets.com. Get your best betting offers from freebets.com.
Yeah, that'll do.
The following deals are now live.